I want to introduce myself. My name is Joe Little. I'm fortunate enough to be the general manager for this facility. I want to personally welcome everybody and thank you for coming out today. I've been with DOT for over 30 years. This is, yes. My boss says it's because I keep wearing out my welcome everywhere. He may be right. But this is my 5th location with DOT. And I'm extremely grateful and fortunate to have been part of the DOT history. We have several folks here today that I want to help introduce everybody to. So I'd like to start off with, I'd like to ask that you hold your applause for just a few moments till we get through the introductions. But when I read your name, I would ask that you please stand up so everybody can recognize. So first and foremost, our CEO, Joe TRACY. Let's do it again, but let's give him a real round of applause. CEO Joe TRACY. Our Senior Vice President and Legal Counsel, Jim TRACY. Chief Financial Officer, Anita Montgomery. Vice President of Human Resources, Matt Holt. My boss, so really let him have it. Brian Duffield, East Region GM Manager. I have a few folks here from the Delaware team that would also like to recognize, first and foremost, Nikisha Bailey, our HR Manager. Mark Snyder, my Director of Transportation. And Marvin Durbrow, our Warehouse Director. I would share, you can't see them today because they're not all here, but this is our 12th location. We're very proud of it, but there are a lot of folks from other distribution centers that have been part to help get us to where we are today. We even have a member of our sales team. I got to throw a shout out for Chris Mazio. We are also very honored to have several representatives from the area here in the crowd today. I would first like to recognize Governor John CARNEY. Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long. State Auditor Kathy McGinnis. Miss NICOLE POORE. I should have said Senate Majority Leader in front of that. She's at every event and I just like to see her smile. We also have several other people here. I know Valerie Longhurst is here as well. Certainly the rock star extraordinaire, Matt Myers, County Executive. There's probably some other folks here that I'm not catching. That's my bad on the notes, but if I've missed anybody, please stand up so we can recognize you. I'm sorry. It was not on the notes here. My apologies. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today and help us join in celebration. I would like to introduce Joe TRACY, our CEO, and have him come say a few words.
Well, thank you, Joe. We're really pleased to have Joe leading our team here in Delaware. As Joe mentioned, he's been here 30 years and counting. He and Jana have just been an awesome team together. And Jana actually worked for DOT many years ago as well. And they actually met at DOT. So, Joe, you're welcome for that piece. As he mentioned, he's been at 5 locations. Joe's got to be our most experienced GM. He's been general manager at 3 of them. So we're certainly pleased that he's going to make this location a success. You know, this place already somewhat feels like home. It was approximately 34 years ago that I made my first trip to Delaware. I was a senior at Colorado State. My father and brothers decided to put a facility on the East Coast, and so we were looking for an East Coast warehouse. We flew into Philly, myself, Dad, and a few of the brothers, in suits and ties, and we thought it might add some credibility because we weren't a very big firm. We rented a Chevy Chevette, which eliminated all of the credibility that we had. So I guess frugal to a fault. But back then the business was less than $100 million and 100 employees. And it was my first job starting in March of 1987, full-time for the family business, right here in Newcastle, Delaware, just up the road. And my territory was New England and upstate New York. I lived in Wilmington, then moved to Claymont, and Stanley's was my favorite pub. And I was there about a year ago. It's nice to know Stanley's hasn't changed much in 30 years. But I'm very proud that our organization has come so far. The fact that we're back here with a really beautiful facility. We did move the location many years ago to Williamsport, Maryland to build our first multi-temp, but we're back here with our 12th multi-temp facility again. You know, it's no secret that DOT is a family business. We talk a lot about it. We're very proud to be a family business. Mom and Dad had 12 kids. So yes, they were a little bit busy. I'm number 11, and she affectionately called me, hey you. My older brother Jim's with me today. Almost all of us have worked in the business. Half of us still work in the business today. We also have 12 third generation working in the business. So yes, there's a lot of Tracys. There's well over 100 of us in 4 generations, and that's growing every month. My parents, Artie and Dorothy, also saw the business and their employees as an extension of the family. And we work hard to stay true to those roots. We actually turned 60 May of this year. It'll be our 60th anniversary as a business. We're real excited about that. We kicked that off in January at our national meeting. We're going to be celebrating at many locations really throughout the year to really recognize where we're at today and honor those that helped put us in this position. You know, a lot is different now. Of course, Mom and Dad's values remain at the center of all we do. It's a big part of what sets us apart. Our values really shape our culture, which has been a competitive advantage for so many years. It's really the key to recruiting and retaining the right talent. It's something that has been really important to us, and as you get larger as an organization, it becomes harder and harder to maintain that competitive advantage. The DOT family continues to grow, as I think you witnessed with this location. We've got almost 90 new employee family members with us here, and we're going to have about 125 after the first year and 200 after we get up to full speed in 2022. Most of our team is made up of drivers that serve our customers so well and warehouse employees that load the trucks that set them up for success. We also have a small number of support staff. DOT's committed to providing career opportunities that pay well, provide great benefits for our employees and their families. That's really what's important to my parents and the legacy that we want to continue to support. We're in the redistribution business. That means we buy products from more than 1,000 different manufacturers of dry, frozen, refrigerated products from around North America. We resell it to over 4,500 distributors in less than truckload quantities. We sell the largest distributors in the country in terms of Cisco and US, all the way down to the smallest family distributors in your local communities. These products end up in restaurants, schools, convenience stores, and more. Our value proposition is really we make products more accessible and affordable, allowing companies to improve their businesses and the lives of the individuals that they serve. We enhance choice. That's what we aim to do every day. We're always looking for new and innovative ways to improve our supply chain, to make it more efficient. That's why it's the second part of our brand promise that you see appropriately displayed on all of our trailers, innovative solutions. We picked this location because it will help us provide an even better service to our distributor customers in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. We needed capacity on the East Coast in a bad way, and it took many years for us to figure out this was the right place for us to be. We've invested $37 million in this beautiful new facility. It's almost 200,000 square feet. This is a dry warehouse that you're sitting in. We've got frozen and refrigerated warehouses next door if you need a little chill after the grand opening. We also have a shop that's going to be finished so that we can take care of our private fleet. If you looked at the building from above, you would see that it's an L shape, kind of a capital L, and it's really designed that way because we plan to grow, we plan to expand. We want full flexibility in expanding this facility. It's going to allow us to grow dry, frozen, refrigerator, or whatever we need. We believe in reinvesting in our communities. It's a huge focus for the business and a passion for my family. This is another one of those values that Mom and Dad instilled in all of us. We've already started doing that here in Newcastle County. The Delaware team donated $25,000 to the region last year by supporting the Route 9 Library and Innovation Center and launching our Neighbor to Neighbor program, which provides product donations to area food pantries. Each DOT location has a charitable committee, so you're going to see a lot more to come in that area. So if you know any talented people, we're still hiring. So talk it up in the community. We think we're a great company to work for. We need more family members to help us serve customers. We know our company will continue to grow, which means we'll need our Delaware workforce to grow with it. I'm excited about where we're going. I'm excited about what our Delaware team's going to do and contribute to the success of DOT and what the next 60 years holds for DOT. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe. As you can tell in what Joe just shared, picking a DOT location is not easy. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a strategic process that takes a little time and effort. And as you heard Joe say, finding the right place is not easy. With that, to help share a little bit of his story, I'd like to ask the Governor, John CARNEY, to come up and please share a few words.
Thank you very much, Joe, and to Joe, thank you, and welcome back to the state of Delaware. It's great to have you back, the TRACY family and your business and all your employees here in our great state. We're welcoming you back, I guess, from Maryland. It's really good to have you. We were having a conversation before we got started here, and Joe asked me what was the most important thing that I was working on as governor, and I said that clearly the most important thing is this, is to create an environment, not just DOT, but really working together with our partners. We have our member of our congressional delegation, we have our county executive here, we have members of the General Assembly and our Lieutenant Governor here with us today to create an environment just like the one that you described that was so important for the TRACY family over all these years. I can relate to big family values. We didn't have as many children as you, but I have 8 siblings, and I was up at the top, so my mom and dad knew my name. The ones down at the bottom were a combination of 2 or 3 people's names before they got to the right one. But it's a set of values that puts a premium on just the kinds of things that you were talking about, a certain togetherness among the employees, a commitment to community, a commitment to giving back, and we're just delighted to have a company like that here in our state. But most importantly, the jobs that you provide to Delawareans, because when I think about our most important responsibility, that's got to be number one. Because when folks have jobs, they can support themselves, they can support their families, they can save and send their kids to college, they can put money away from retirement, particularly with the kinds of programs that you have, and all the other things that we try to do and that have to do in terms of government service gets just a heck of a lot easier. All the other things that we do, from education to quality of life to public safety, are really geared towards your workforce, to attract a workforce here that can do the jobs that you need done, and so that they can strengthen our community. As I was coming in, I saw your two big semis there with the commitment to your veterans. Thank you for doing that. And the veterans, if there are veterans in the audience, if you could stand up and be recognized so we could thank you all for your service. We appreciate that. And I noticed, Joe, that they had blue shirts on, and that's a real statement for your company. So just finally, just let me again welcome you to our great state, welcome you back to our great state. And to, one of the things about Delaware, and you probably know this, is we are kind of like a big family. I mean, politics here are more personal than they are partisan. And we get to know one another already. The other Joe knows the elected officials in this area, and I'm sure you'll get to know all the rest of us at some time. And already I've got your card to make a call so we can have a conversation about the approval process. So again, thank you for bringing these jobs to our state. God bless all of you, and enjoy Delaware.
Thank you, Governor Carney. We're also fortunate to have the Lieutenant Governor, Bethany Hall, along with us today. The last time she was here was at our groundbreaking. It was a little bit colder outside. We were in dirt up to our knees, and we're welcome to have her here today.
He is spot on. It was a chilly day, but as our governor stated, it's always shining when we're bringing jobs and we turn that dirt and we cut those ribbons. That's an exciting day. And to me, when I heard Miss Bailey scream and hoot and holler, it tells us this is about the local community. And briefly, to the TRACY family, your story when we were out there last year on the cold stage and the wind was blowing, and you were talking about the roots in Illinois and your 11th distribution site, us being your 12th distribution site, we had no idea that you were going to do it so quickly. And so to all of the contractors, all of the local government, we have county council present, we have our representatives, everybody put all hands on deck. And that's what's great about Delaware, as our governor indicated, it's all hands on deck. And as I look out in our audience, I see educators, I see our Secretary of Labor and his two daughters, future employees perhaps of DOT. And that is what it's really about, is making Delaware a family business and community, and that's what it is. And so today, as we celebrate, as we cut this ribbon, and we know we're going to go from that 188 jobs to over 200, that we are going to be making a difference, and that L-shaped expansion is fantastic. And so again, on behalf of the community services, I know that your local representative and senator here, Longhurst and POORE, they're going to take advantage, Joe, of the wonderful public relations that you offer into the community, and I think you're going to find from the employees that I met earlier, you're not going to find a better talented workforce than the workforce in the state of Delaware. So we're going to go for that expansion on that L-shaped facility. So again, thank you so much. And did you want me to do the next introduction? He said since he's asking me to dig him out of the doghouse, Congresswoman. So he's a good general manager. He knows how to dig himself out. So he said, if you would, Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester is our wonderful voice down in Washington. And she was able to make it. We weren't sure if she was going to make it, but she did. She's very committed. And so thank you, ma'am, for coming in and being here today.
Lieutenant Governor.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is a celebration, right? Good afternoon, yes. I'm just as pumped up as Nikisha Bailey over here. I'm excited. I'm on fire. I first want to, on behalf of our congressional delegation, on behalf of Senators Carper and Senators Coons and myself, we just want to bring greetings and say congratulations, especially to thank the TRACY family for your leadership and for your support of our local economy right here in Delaware. One of the things that really stuck out for me is that the name of the company. And am I correct that Dorothy, your mother, is Dot? So Dot is a woman. Let's just give it up for Dot. Just want to put in a plug for Dot and help you understand what Dot really stands for. And it really is the strength, the pillar of a family, and that's really what this business is about. And so we are so excited to be here. I think the other thing I just wanted to share is that we're in a time where we need to always think about how we come together. And what you've been able to do here today is bring us together as a community. When I look out into this audience and see the diversity of who is represented here, I think about our state, I think about our country, and I think about the fact that we each have a role to play. Even as members of Congress, we don't create the jobs. The governor always says this. It's not our job to create the jobs. It's our job to create the environment. Our county executive as well says it's our job to create the environment where you can thrive. And so as we look at an infrastructure bill, that's going to be massive to the work that you do right here. Our crumbling roads and bridges, making sure there's broadband internet, that's important to all Americans, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or independent. We are in this thing together, and so we thank you for your leadership. We're excited about cutting a ribbon, and we're also excited about the things to come. Thank you so much to the TRACY family, and to Dot, and to Nikisha Bailey. And to Joe.
Thank you very much. There you go. Wow, I feel about this tall right now. I've already sent 6 text messages and tried to figure out how I messed that up earlier, and it's my fault. I do have to recognize the next 2 ladies that'll be up to speak. I've got to spend quite a bit of time with. They not only have made themselves available, but I would share, I've seen them at community events, recruiting events. They are working hard. All right, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, that's when I see them. So they're working hard for everyone in Delaware. I want to start with Senator Poore.
So good afternoon, everyone. What a great turnout, and what a great sea of blue that I see out in this crowd. So I'm going to cover probably pretty much what everybody has already covered, but the one thing that no one else can cover is that not only are you the 12th distribution center, but you are standing in the 12th district, which happens to be my district. That's right. That's right. That's right. So if you play your numbers, you go out and you play 12-12 tonight, okay? And if you win, you call me. So that being said, you know, Joe, you have, considering the fact that in Delaware, what we say is made it, dated, or related to it, and in order to actually make that title, you have to be here at least 50 years. But I have to say, in a short period of time, you have done an amazing job of incorporating yourself into that motto and bringing this organization, and to those folks that worked really, really hard in making sure that your recruiting efforts were at full force, that we were able to make sure that we broke ground on this property not too long ago, and how quickly you have brought this building together. I will also say, in the small amount of calls that I have taken from my district to be able to say, hey, can you tell us a little bit about the environment? Can you tell us about this organization? And your responses back to the community has been top notch. So thank you for all of that. I just want to touch on one thing, and you know, Congresswoman, you definitely touched on it about, you know, of course, you know, Dot being a woman, but on page 110 of this book, quickly, as I sat down and I was reading through this, I was amazed at the tribute that was given to Dot, not just by her grandchildren, but also her children. But one thing that I want to actually point out is the comment, there's no way that Dad could have built this business and done the things he did with anybody else in the world except Mom. That is a statement that is just, it goes home to me in the fact that we know in the state of Delaware we don't do anything without the support of our loved ones, without our family, without our integrity, without the people standing side by side to us. So thank you for bringing your business to Delaware. Thank you for being in the 12th District. And I am happy to say welcome to Delaware.
Thank you, Senator Poore. Representative Longhurst.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bear, Delaware, the 15th Representative District, not the 12th Senatorial District. We have this thing back and forth, who owns what. But we do work very well together, and we do consider you a part of our family. I would like to go back to family, because it is about family. Your headquarters is in the state of Illinois, which is my hometown, where I was born and raised. And I know what it's like to have the values of the Midwestern philosophy. And I grew up in that hometown, and it's so nice to bring a little bit of that hometown to my second hometown, which is Delaware, and to Bear, Delaware. To all those people that live in Bear and that live in the surrounding areas that are working here, thank you so much. This is like such a great opportunity for everybody in this area to have employment and a good paying job and a good environment to work and be a part of a family that goes from Illinois to Delaware. So I want to thank you so much from my home state and your home state, is that we can make this even a better community for the state of Delaware. But thank you so much, and I know I'm probably the last one to speak, maybe, I don't know, but thank you, and good luck, and Nicole and I will be around, so anything that you need, we're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Longhurst. We have one more person that we have planned to speak today, and I introduced him as our extraordinary rock star earlier, but here, with the location here at Bear, we've worked with the county close since before the first shovel of dirt, and we've got a lot more to do in the future. So with that, I would like to introduce County Exec Matt Meyer.
Thanks a lot. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got to make sure we're still awake. Blue shirts in the back there. It's great to see everyone here today. Joe, you're one of 12 kids, is that right? So the company, a good family company, is not complete until you have 12 warehouses, right? So we put number 12 in today. It makes the Dot family complete. It's really fantastic to be here today. I don't often get invited to the ribbon cuttings. As county executive, you're in charge of land use. They invite you to the groundbreaking. By the time it's time for the ribbon cutting, they don't even want to talk to you anymore. So I appreciate the invitation. The meeting I had with Dot Foods was one of the first meetings I had as a newly elected official 3 years ago. I didn't know much about Dot Foods, but I learned real fast. And I learned based on what Jim Tracy came and told me at our first meeting, and I learned once Joe and Jana came here at the first meeting we had down at the elementary school here. And I learned at the Route 9 Library, which is a library that was built really not just as a library, but as a cornerstone of community revitalization over in Newcastle. And before this facility ever earned $1 for Dot Foods shareholders, you contributed $25,000 to that library. And that means an awful lot. It's a big statement about who you are to our community, the partnership we're going to make together. One last thing I want to say, the governor's always leading the way, making sure we get the highest quality jobs here. We're right there with them, the whole team here, making sure we create opportunities across this state. I have a special place in my heart for great companies that come here. And let's be honest, Dot Foods, you can look online. You guys are a leader in logistics. These are some of the best minds in supply chain, in getting food on people's tables across this country and really across this world. And beyond the jobs, beyond the tax revenues we get, that knowledge base, I believe, is going to be a tremendous asset for our community as you grow here for years to come. So thank you so much for investing in us, and we're eager to see this partnership grow.
Thank you, Matt. As we get ready to close out a little bit here today, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a few folks. So for the visitors and the guests here today, if you turn around and you see those folks that's in those long sleeve blue t-shirts, those are all the employees and the team at this future distribution center that I couldn't be more proud to represent. So I would like personally to say, welcome to the Dot Foods team. I also have a couple other people that I would like to recognize. we don't pull off events like this very well. Me and my team, we're pretty good at groceries and warehousing. We're not so good at this. There are two ladies that I have to shout out to today, Andrea Sager and Emily Waterman, please. Trust me, they've done all the work to make sure that everybody was in the right place and doing the right thing today. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up to help us celebrate today. A few housekeeping notes before we do the ribbon cutting. After we do the ribbon cutting, you're invited to stay. The members of Dot Foods will be here. We'll be glad to answer any questions, to talk with you. We also are going to have some tours, so we have some fine people set up over here. They'll be glad to walk you through the facility. We like to show off. We like to razzle-dazzle a little bit. So please, you're invited for that. With that being said, I'd like to ask that our ribbon cutting participants please step up.